There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
You can run an automotive manufacturing company or any manufacturing company in the state of Florida.
Our ability to build product here is just as good than any other place that we could consider.
We have the ability to bring in parts and pieces from all over the globe into any of the ports. It's far more accessible than many parts of the United States.
We do ship to mod centers all over the country, including Canada. Some of our products go into Asia and the Middle East as well.
Voxx Electronics, man. If you're in the 12-volt electronics game and you don't know about Voxx Electronics, man, I don't even know, like, if you've been under a rock, because I guarantee you, whether you are cognizant of it or not, you've probably either sold, installed, or used some of their product. Hey, I'm your host, Ben Wu, for another lunchtime learning hour with CMA Connected. And on today's show, as you saw from the preview, we've got a juggernaut, really, a juggernaut in the 12-volt game, and that's Voxx Electronics, Audio Voxx, when they started. Of course, with such a giant player in the game and in our format here with CMA Connected, we're not going to be able to do the entire lineup. So we're going to break it up into little bitty pieces that we can digest easily. And on today's episode, we're going to focus in on the mobile video category. You know, the mobile video category is something that's not new. You know, there's no doubt about it. It's been a while for a bit. However, there has been a recent revitalization of the category. And on today's show, we've got a special guest, Vice President of Vehicle Entertainment for Voxx Electronics, will be joining us so we can discuss some of the latest offerings from Voxx Electronics in the mobile video category. His name is Joe Caltabiano, and I'm happy to welcome him to CMA Connected. What's going on, Joe?
Hey, how you doing, Ben?
Welcome, well,
everybody.
It's Friday. So that's great.
Beautiful Friday.
But before we get to the weekend, we got some business to deal with, and that is to let the good folks who are watching this episode right now know about the latest offerings in the mobile video category. Joe, before we get started, let's talk a little bit about you. Your title implies that you are all about vehicle entertainment, and obviously mobile video is a big part of that, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I manage a couple different categories within Voxx Electronics, primarily mobile video, and also we have an exclusive distribution arrangement in the aftermarket for SiriusXM satellite radio. Obviously, Sirius is a little different in Canada. It's separated out in Canada versus the US. But yeah, so that anything entertainment-wise in the vehicle space falls under me.
All right, that's a big responsibility and a very wide scope and range of product, I'm sure. But today we're going to focus in on, I'm going to gather in a very important category for Voxx in the history of Voxx, because I mean, mobile video is a little bit like was a big deal. And where I want to get to today is, why is there a resurgence in this category?
Well, it all starts 2 decades ago, right? We helped pioneer the industry with our sister company at the time, ASA Electronics. So we started developing, screens for in-cars, as archaic as it was back in the day, just screens that you cut into headrests themselves or backs of seats. And then we migrated over from different technologies, VCP to DVD. And it solved the issue of keeping your kids quiet, right? Maintaining sanity for your parents. And as long as people have children, there's always going to be a need for a video. It's just, how do you refresh it? How do you keep relevant in today's world, right? How do you take what was the living room environment 20 years ago and translate that to the living room and portable environment you live in today with the expansion of all the technologies? So that's what we did.
That's very important that you mentioned that, because, mobile video as a category has changed so much because home video has changed so much. Gone are the days of putting DVD players and all this type of stuff. We're living in a digital world that includes stuff like Wi-Fi and stuff like downloadable content and streaming services. So how has Voxx pivoted and adapted to said technologies?
Well, it's all about, we could always introduce the technology, but it's timing, right? So anybody who's attended a consumer electronics show, a SEMA show, or even our independent little knowledge fest shows that we do throughout the year, even before we introduce a product, we'll show a product to get a little bite of the apple from our customers to see, is it engaging to them? Do we have that buy-in? And that's what we did with streaming technologies. So as early as 10 years ago, we put HDMI into our systems, right? And what did HDMI give you? It gave you a step out of the shiny disk realm of DVD and allowed you to connect devices like your own smartphone, Android, Apple, or even as smart TV sticks came out, like your Amazon Fire TVs, your Chromecast, and such, Roku's. It allowed you to plug in, but the limitation there was the speed. You're talking about a motor vehicle traveling, anywhere from 55 to 75 miles an hour down a road through all different sections of cell service, and that's what Wi-Fi is dependent on in a vehicle, is basically taking that cell broadcasted signal to a vehicle and be able to play back content. So we had the technologies ready. The infrastructure wasn't ready. So we had to sit on some stuff for a while. And it was kind of good for us because it allowed anybody who was watching and monitoring us as a company, some of them wanted to be quicker to market, and they jumped into a market when the game wasn't ready yet, so to speak, right? So if I wanted to stream Netflix in a backseat, I can't do it unless I have 4G or higher. 3G is not going to work. You're going to be driving down the road. It's going to be locking up, pixelating, buffering. Kids are going to go crazy again. Mom, Dad, we're back to circle one.
That are we there yet problem just escalated to like.
Exactly, right? So we had to sit on it, and we did. And that allowed us to refine it, and it also allowed us to wait for some technologies that took cost down, right? Because every time a technology grows, it's expensive in the beginning, but then it becomes less as the consumer demand for it grows. Parts get cheaper. So that allowed us to really dive in head deep into what I call the kitchen sink of rear seat entertainment systems. And that was our smart TV systems that we introduced first as a backseat solution, right? So if anybody is monitoring new car vehicle sales, right? Vehicle OEM manufacturers, they dabble in rear seat entertainment, but none of them go way deep, because they don't know if they're actually going to have a consumer that wants that as an item. So they'll offer it on their more expensive trim level vehicles or as an accessory add-on. That's why Voxx has always done well in the car dealer channel as well as retail, because we're always that guy that can come in when a consumer wants something that the vehicle lot, they don't have in their inventory, right? They don't have that Tahoe LT with, an overhead or a headrest or a seat back system. So that's where our niche is. But as we follow the technologies, you got to follow what the car manufacturers are doing, right? So everybody, from a Honda to a GM to a Ford, they always had a DVD-based system. Every once in a while, maybe they'll throw in a Blu-ray, even though that technology was kind of leapfrog with streaming. But what we started to see was a shift from your headrests and your overheads to bigger screens, right? As there's more content available and consumers are content hungry, you don't want to put on a little 7-inch screen. If you're going to navigate surfing web or apps, you can't do it on small screens. That's good in a portable environment, not in the back seat where a screen is this far away from you. So we wanted to do bigger and better, and we saw that trend growing in rear seat entertainment systems from the OE. So we said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to move away from our largest size headrest, 8-9-inch, or our overheads, 10 and 13. We're going to put a 10-inch screen in front of your face behind the seat headrest on each side. And that's what we did. And we made it a simple touchscreen interface. It's easy. UI is stupid simple, right? Anybody could operate this without having to open up a manual. We created the UI ourselves. We didn't just take a generic Android-based operating system, carbon copy, and throw it in there. Plus, we have other features that are in there, right? Primarily on this type of system, the go-to number one bullet point is the ability to stream app content direct. You don't have to have a separate device. You don't need a phone. You don't need a Roku, a Chromecast, or an Amazon Fire TV stick. It's got a built-in Android operating system. 8.1 is the OS.
Very nice.
Right? At the time. And we're always making improvements. This is our Gen 2 version. We launched this thing about a year ago, Gen 1. Similar system to what we have today, just it didn't have as much internal memory. We've expanded because anybody who monitors apps nowadays take Netflix Prime Video, Disney Plus. They'll allow you to download offline content. So you don't have to be Wi-Fi dependent on something like this, right?
Well, I'm going to slow down a little bit because you said a lot in the last like 30 seconds. So
yeah, no problem.
Android-based media interface. So
yes.
Therefore, all the apps that come with that, right? Google Play Store, right? So you're talking
correct.
Whatever your favorite service, whether it's Hulu or Crave in Canada, or the basic. I'm gonna take a stab at this. Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus, probably the three most popular.
Absolutely.
Does any software come preloaded? Do I have to start from scratch?
Well, because those are the most popular apps, we create that out-of-box experience where they're preloaded on each monitor.
Wow, perfect.
Then the user can go in, and again, if you're an Apple user, you're not familiar with the Google Play Store. Well, the Google Play Store is just the Apple derivative onto the Android brand. So you go in there, you create credentials. If you don't have an account, you can download whatever apps you want. Mm-hmm. So it allows you to add into the system. And then by having the expanded memory in the system, you're not relying on Wi-Fi.
How much memory are we talking about?
16 gigabytes per monitor.
So 60 per monitor. So that means each monitor can play it independently from one another.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Hold on. I have to go back 1 second. So you're talking about connectivity. What about obviously everybody's got LTE now, right? I mean, that's pretty much standard across the board in North America. In Canada, we have LTE everywhere. Sure. What about this? I guess we can also connect to these in-car hotspots that some of the manufacturers are coming up with.
Absolutely. So look, you have to have a conduit to making the system full-blown operational, right? So in order to access all the full streaming content, you have to connect to a hotspot. Newer vehicles come through with LTE hotspots, right? So GM powered by AT&T or Ford powered by Verizon, whatever it may be. It's starting to build out. It's been building out the last 5 years. It started all because of OnStar, right? 2G networks in the car for safety concerns. Well, they built that out. Now they put modems in there that expand and allow you to front seat infotainment needs, rear seat entertainment needs. So vehicle manufacturers have come through with hotspots. And if you don't have a hotspot in your vehicle, just turn on a hotspot on your phone.
Right. Tether it through your phone.
Correct.
Or like you said, preload when you're at home. Let's say you're in the garage, connect to your home Wi-Fi, download whatever you need, and then go.
Absolutely. So anybody who's a little bit concerned, not everybody has an unlimited data, right? And they
especially not in Canada. We Canadians are like freaking slaves to the system. Anyhow,
they got you there. But like myself, I got Verizon. I pay $110 a month, and I have unlimited. They'll throw you back after a certain amount, but still, it's unlimited data. So now I could just turn on the hotspot, connect the monitors to the hotspot. Or take this scenario. I'm in my driveway. I'm in my garage. I can make one of the hotspots on my monitors my home Wi-Fi network. So while I'm in the garage or in the driveway, I could just turn on a vehicle, turn on the monitors, go to Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime, whatever, connect to the home hotspot, download as many movies as I want, disconnect, and now wherever I'm driving, I don't have to worry about being connected to Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Right?
Beautiful. And what I liked about what you said, now we're talking independent operation. So you've got, for example, I've got 2 kids, 2 different age groups. One's a boy, one's a girl. They don't like the same things whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So what are my options now with this type of technology?
Well, look, we've loaded these things up. They have everything from old school DVD players built in to streaming capabilities and everything in between. SD media, USB media, even an HDMI input. Why would I need an HDMI input on a system that has built-in smart TV? I'm not plugging anything into it. Sometimes we get that request. You get a hardcore gamer, PS4, Xbox, right? You want to hook up an external game system? Well, it's going through HDMI. So we've covered all the bases. You got 2 different age groups. One could be watching SpongeBob here. One could be watching Bubble Guppies over here. I mean, that's the way the beauty of the system. Or you could share content. So if I want to watch something here, let's say I have a DVD player. It's that old Aladdin Disney movie. They both want to watch it. Well, I just select the other monitor that doesn't have the DVD player to see what that DVD player is watching. So you can share the source.
Content. You can share the source across its own network.
You can share in either direction, or you can watch independently. Gotcha. And like you had mentioned before, with the independent app capability, it's not like each monitor has the same apps. If I got 2 different age groups, they want 2 different types of apps, games, whatever.
So like your teenager might be on Twitch, but your young one only cares about Disney princess movies. Okay,
So
gotcha.
they can totally choose what they want.
I'm gonna guess that headsets, right? These systems are
Yeah, the
completely
systems will come
compatible.
through. They'll come through with dual channel IR headphones. And the reason why we still maintain the IR infrared technology versus like a Bluetooth is Bluetooth. Yeah, it will be able to pair from a headphone to the monitor, but sometimes then it gets confusion. You get some latency issues if someone tries to pair it with the head unit, right? So we keep it the old school IR, so you have independent without crossing channels, as well as the capability to broadcast it FM transmitter wise from the monitor
Old school.
to the factory radio, right?
Right.
Now, obviously, you have two monitors, right? So you have to pick the one you want to turn the FM transmission on.
You mean I
can't
can't
have
set
both.
4 different channels for 4 different? I guess
Yeah.
you could, but you can only listen to one at a time.
Exactly. So pick
Right.
the monitor that you want to broadcast. So what does that come in handy? When you have small children, infants, heads too small for headphones, earbuds, or anything,
Yes,
you're going to have to broadcast it through the audio system. So the parents have to suck it up and listen to a little of the background music, but the kid's happy, right? So basically, you have 100 channels to choose from on the FM band. Select the channel you want to broadcast from, select the monitor you want to broadcast from, tune into the same channel on your radio, place through the audio system. If you have the capabilities for an audio in, say you have a GM vehicle and it does have an auxiliary AV input, well, that's the best way to go, right? Then you can go AV out of our system, plugged into the AV in, and now you have a direct connection, right?
Yeah,
to
just
the
select your AV in. Yeah, that's cool. So a couple different options there. Just real quick, we're looking at this here. Any of the features that we want to showcase? I mean, look, it's Android based. You got the DVD mod. These are 10-inch screens. You even have a micro SD input.
Yep, micro SD, USB. Look, there's the Pacific Northwest of the United States. I call it Microsoft land, right? You still have people who really choose to load up a 1 terabyte hard drive or load up an SD card and have that content playback. So we satisfy that. Even though it might be a small use case, we satisfy that. The DVD player, like I mentioned, we offer these in 3 different configurations. Our traditional system consists of 2 monitors, both with dual Android operating systems. One has a DVD player, both USB, both SD. The other has an HDMI input, right? Because again, the focus here is on streaming content versus having dual DVDs. But you got a consumer who wants dual DVDs. We have that configuration. We have it DVD delete. If you don't care about DVDs, you just want streaming, we have it without DVD players. So we cover the gambit, and obviously those are scalable price points, right? But super fast, super loaded, and there's another feature in there that's pretty unique that I'm sure you'll get to in a little bit.
Oh, we will. We're going to save the cherry on top for the end for the Sunday here. But right here, this slide here demonstrates the smart TV interface, and like we were mentioning, here's the visual of it. YouTube, Google. It's all there. It's visual. Everybody understands it. Kids understand it. I really like the interface.
And one of the other cool things on this system is, since it's a smart system, we built in an over-the-air network server update system. Let's just say, for any reason, there's a glitch to our system. It's not like the days of old with a head unit and you had a software glitch where you had to go back to the retailer and spend your time and their time to upload a software update, right? We've taken the guesswork out of that. We can go direct to consumer. As long as the unit's connected to Wi-Fi, if there's an update available, the consumer is going to see a little icon. It's going to say update available, where they can select, choose, download the update. They're up and running. Didn't take any time out of their day. Didn't have any downtime with their vehicle. The other thing where that comes in handy is if we want to enhance the system in a shape or way. So we've done that. We've added some feature benefits to our systems that we push out as an over-the-air update. Consumer gets it, downloads it, better experience for them.
What about from an installer standpoint? We have a lot of installers that watch our our broadcast here with so many different applications of vehicles out there. I mean, everybody could want a screen. What kind of solutions has Voxx come up with for that?
Yeah, so I cut my teeth in this industry as an installer crawling under dashes, right? Way back when in the day. So anytime we develop products, I always have the best interest of the installer in mind. Happy installer, happy retailer, happy sale that's going to happen to a consumer, right? So this is a universal bracket design. 85% of vehicles that are out there, when you pop the factory headrest out, you're going to have seat post guides. those circular plastic seat post guides that go into the seat. So for 85% of vehicles that have a nice, robust seat post guide, we have a universal bracket assembly that goes underneath the seat post guide, kind of cantilevers. I think Jonathan's in the background. You could probably pop up a picture, but that cantilever underneath the seat post guides eliminates attaching to the actual seat post. So the headrest is still independent in its operation from our system. So if you have an active headrest, or if you have a motorized headrest, or you just want to adjust the headrest, you could do that without having the whole system going up and down. So those seat post guides, again, with our metal brackets that go underneath them, provides a nice, robust substrate so you don't have a wobbly monitor going down the road, even on the bumpiest roads. For the other 85% of vehicles, and a good example of this is the Lincoln Navigator with the 30-way power position seat. Anybody who's seen that seat, and it's in that lower left corner, it's a one size seat with no independent headrest. So a little trickier, right? So what we did is we developed special custom brackets with instructions on how to dismantle that seat, how to mount our bracket to factory locations, and then how to put the seat back together. At the end of the day, our system looks like the factory system.
Very nice.
So we've done that for Lincoln. Mercedes, anybody who's seen the Mercedes with a little slot in the back of the seat for the factory rear seat entertainment system, well, we developed a bracket that slides right in that slot. So we overcome the other 15% with specialty brackets. So for our customer base, our retailers and installers, they have full applications. And how we manage that is on our product pages, we have an application guide, drop-down menus, simple year, make, model. It'll walk you through, step down, it'll tell you if the supply bracket that comes with our system will work for your application, or if you need a specialty bracket.
So for you, those of you watching us live or joining us on demand afterwards, we're going to make sure that we're going to get some of these links into the comment section so you can find them. Obviously, AudioVox has so many different links for different type of technical support and whatnot. So we're going to make sure you guys have that. Let's pivot a little bit here. We talked about the features of the screens, the independent operation, the operating software. Let's talk about something for me. When I saw this, I felt was game changing. So let me set this up for you. I'm driving, wife's in the passenger side, my two kids going, and the argument starts. I want to watch this. No, I want to watch this. No, I want to watch this. Then my wife looks at me and says, honey, can you pull over to the next gas station? I need to reset this for your kids. So they basically shut up. What has Voxx done to resolve this situation of not being able to control what the kids are watching?
Sure. The age-old issue, right? Mm-hmm. So what we've done here is, again, it's a smart system that opened up the doors for us to do a lot of cool things. So what we did is we developed our own app that we call Voxlink. It's a free app. It's available on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Where you download this app, the only requirement is that you have to have your phone that is going to operate the app and the monitors on the same network. So let me paint that picture. If I didn't have a hotspot in the vehicle and I had to use my phone as a hotspot, well, that's a simple setup. As soon as the monitors are connected to that hotspot, well, then they're all on the same access point. Now, if I open the Voxlink app, I could see and select either of those monitors. And once I open up that monitor, now I actually can physically see what's playing on that monitor, and I have full control of that monitor. So I don't have to be in front of the monitor to see what's going on. I could be in the front seat, like you said, mom, passenger seat. She's got her phone in front of her, and she's selecting, opening up Netflix, picking whatever show, and now the kid's going to be watching that. It's great for when you have infants, kids in car seats, too young to physically interact with the system themselves. I just gave parents and grandparents and anybody in the front seat or anywhere in the vehicle access to controlling and seeing the monitors.
That game changer.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's one of the things that, again, breathed a lot of life back into the system and the sales velocity of this system. It's because we added the things we couldn't do before, and we gave the consumer everything in a system that they can't find anywhere else. You can't buy this. I mean, even the latest GM offering, which is a 12.6-inch screen in the back of a headrest, is limited to you having to plug in an HDMI device.
Right.
In the aftermarket, we could turn on a dime. So that's the benefit of the features.
I had a question come up on one of our feeds here, circling back to where you talk about updating. Is auto updating going to be available in the future?
Auto updating as far as updating
software.
What?
I think it was the software.
Yeah. Well, again, two different things for updates, just to clarify. There's operating system updates, which this system doesn't do. It's locked at 8.1 is the OS.
It's locked. Okay.
It's locked. Now, we'll have future generations, like we're already in development of our Gen 3, that'll have the latest version of Android when it launches. And then, again, it's all pertaining to Google and Google certification and their restrictions and whether they have consumer versus automotive. So without getting a lot of details, the operating system's locked. The other updates that I mentioned, the over-the-air updates, they're case-by-case basis. So any update is an opt-in. I mean, even when you get an update on your phone, right, you can set it to auto-update, but you still had to opt in at some point. So could we do that? I guess we could and bypass it. But right now, you still have to manually select and choose to download the update.
Very good. All right. Well, Joe, that flew by. We're at the bottom of the hour already. I want to bring this all back to now Voxx Electronics, this category, and along with every category. What about tech support? Let's talk about tech support. What do dealers have for tech support at their fingertips?
Tech support. We have our Voxx Tech Facebook page. That is huge. So, I mean, the beauty of that is if you can't get in touch with the Voxx Tech because it's a weekend or if it's off hours, we've established this network of our guys. I see it, so I could see posts. Our tech team could see posts. And the real beauty is because we've established this forum, we've seen the engagement between retailers to help each other.
Oh.
Right? So let's just say it's this particular product, and they want to know how to install it on the 2021 Tahoe. Little tricky vehicle from a power perspective. A lot of questions pop up. Well, boom, you get a post. Where do I tap in for power? Because, when I open the door, power shutting off, whatever it may be. You'll hit, all of a sudden now 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. You just did one. This is where you go. Boom, problem solved, right?
Beautiful.
So we offer expansive tech services, but through this forum, we've opened it up to a lot broader base in real time to get questions.
And is there a name to this segment if I want to search it?
It's Voxx Tech. So if you opened up Facebook and just search Voxx Tech, you do have to apply. And obviously it's a closed forum group, right?
For dealers.
For dealers.
Right.
So I'm an admin. We have a few other admins. We'll go in. We'll see if you're buying from one of our distributors, you're one of our direct customers. We'll add you on. You're part of the group.
Perfect.
So that and then other training tools. I mean, if you go to our Voxx Facebook page, Voxx Instagram, this is all Voxx Electronics, I should say. Voxx Electronics YouTube channel, Voxx Electronics Instagram, Facebook. You can see training videos that we've created. We've created not only install videos, but open boxings and how best to sell, even consumer-facing videos.
No, and that's sometimes important, especially with dealers. You want to show something to the customer on the spot. Those are great tools to have. I'm going to go to the last and perhaps the most interesting thing. Let's talk about the warranty on these said products.
Sure. 3-year warranty. Again, we service not only the retail channel, not only the retail channel, but we service the car dealer channel as well. So we have to at least match the vehicle electronics warranty. So, we service, like I said, retailer selling direct to a consumer or a car dealer. So basically the middleman there is what we call an expediter, right? The guy who's installing and selling to the car dealer who's then selling to the consumer. So, that customer, they don't know if it's one of our brands or not. They're going to Chevy, they're going to Toyota, they're going to Ford. They expect that electronics products are going to be covered under the same warranty as their electronics warranty. So since we do it on the one side, we carry it over for retail. We don't have a 1-year warranty for retail branded product or a 3-year warranty for 3 years right across the board.
Beautiful. Joe, I can't thank you enough for being with us today. We learned a lot about the mobile video segment and all the updates and the relevance of the technology that is now applied courtesy of you guys. Like Joe said, if you guys need more information, The link is there, scrolling across the bottom. Voxx Tech for technical support, 3-year warranty on all the products, and check out that Voxx app, because for me, I'm going to say it again, game changer for your parents out there. And if you have customers looking for that mobile video solution for their, family vehicle, man, I can't even. That's all I got to say. So, hey, Joe, thanks a lot for being with us. I'm sure you're going to be joining us soon enough, and I wish you a great weekend.
My pleasure. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, everyone.
All right. That was Joe Caltabiano, Vice President of Vehicle Entertainment for Voxx Electronics. Hey, thanks for joining me on this edition of CMA Connected. That's Voxx Electronics mobile video. I'm going to put up our coordinates right quick here. If you got any information or suggestions you'd like to see for any of our platforms, whether it's Connected, Live, or the upcoming Industry Week, more details are coming out on that next week. We have a confirmed vendor list so that you can start planning your viewing experience of Industry Week going down March 22nd to April 1st. But for now, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time to watch us, whether live or on demand. You guys have a great weekend. I'm Ben Wu for CMA Connected. Until next time, we connect.